Hi lovelies, welcome back to Wardrobe Wednesday for episode 13. Because we're just having a bit of a chat tonight, I've just did it on my phone. I'm not going to be around the dressing room, it's just going to be me and you having a bit talk. And as I said this morning on my Instagram, tonight we're going to be just talking about clutter in general, like the reasons behind it, like what it means, before I continue to give you more like tips and tasks to declutter your wardrobe. Obviously we've done so many already, like 13 weeks. I want to stop and take stock of the journey so far, and also like approach a bit of the elephant in the room with clutter, like so why it's even there in the first place. Because if you follow all my videos and don't change any of your current behaviours and habits around buying and how you, I suppose, manage your wardrobe, then you're going to be watching all my videos again next year doing the same thing, and you're just going to keep going in circles, like taking clutter out, adding it back in, and I really don't want that for you, and it's a very frustrating cycle to be in. So we're going to get a little bit deep and meaningful, and I'm just going to talk to you through it from my personal experience as well as what I do with clients as well. So first of all, clutter, like how does it even end up there in the first place? Well, it's very simple. It's through buying. Like if you are constantly buying and you're constantly adding to your wardrobe, then you're constantly adding clutter. Second thing is, everything you put in there, you never get rid of. So this is coming from two places. The buying constantly can be coming from a place of a materialism, a need, impulse, which we're going to talk a little bit deeper about. And then the second place is from a place of fear, maybe depression and anxiety. So in a place of fear, like we're hanging on to stuff, we're like, oh, I don't want to let that go. What if I need it? What if I'm that size again? Or we're very much attached to our things. So your clothes and your wardrobe, if you are currently really struggling to get rid of any clutter, they have power over you, and you have a lot of attachment. You are not in control, they are controlling you. So like how I got into this and how I discovered this, and this is why I made it part of my styling services and journey for my clients, is because I went through the very same journey. I realised through my own, I suppose, the negative place that I was in, I was using clothes in a negative way, and I had, I suppose, a negative relationship with how I used them. So two things, I was in a place before I went to counselling, which was about, oh God, 8 years ago, before I started this new career. I was struggling and not dealing with the grief of the loss of my mum, loss of my family falling apart, like my parents not being in my life. That creates like quite a big hole. And then when we don't deal with it and we don't fill it with any self-love or, you know, any of those unmaterialistic things, we fill it. Like some people do it with alcohol or drugs. My thing was spending, clothes. Very much like a consumer, like materialistic approach to clothes. I would do that whole impulse buy loads of clothes all the time. I would see something and I'd be like, I need it. Like I would feel such like a need, like be so attached to this buy, like it's going to make me happy or something. And then the things I had, I would struggle to let go of as well. Secondly, then I had no purpose and attachment to clothes in terms of who I was. So going through that journey in counselling and discovering more of myself, and then going through a personal style journey, that's what got me interested in it, because I realised the way I was currently using clothes, the way I was dressing, the way I was spending, the way my wardrobe was, reflected the place I was in. So when I really discovered like the real me, I dealt with all my grief and loss and issues and a lot more self-love and self-care of a journey that I started. I then realised that my wardrobe does not reflect me or that now. And then started a journey to look at, okay, so I want to create a wardrobe that I love, that reflects me and expresses me as a person. All the things in there that I have put a lot of thought and care into and I suit. And then also not always constantly feel the need to buy. So from having this approach to your wardrobe, you are kind of breaking that cycle. So what I want you to think about is these two things. So when you are buying, like, how often are you doing it? So you could look at your bank statements, you could just journal it, like how often a week or monthly or online orders, or how often are you shopping. You could be in a cycle of, so you feel like you've got nothing to wear because there's so much clutter in there, none of it really mixes and matches. So you constantly feel like you need new clothes, even though you have a wardrobe that is full of clothes. But I get it, like, I'm not judging, clients are there, I was there. You always feel like you need something new because you still feel like you've got nothing to wear, even though it's full. But then second thing, you don't know what to get rid of. You have no purpose behind getting rid of it. It feels really uncomfortable. It feels like you're throwing away money. You have a lot of attachment to these things, you know, like memories, or the fact how much you might have spent on it, the fact that you haven't wore it, and you are extremely attached to these things because there is potentially no, I suppose, like, expressive or personal attachment in terms of who you are, your style. And then this cycle just continues to repeat itself. So I want you to sit back and I want you to look at your buying habits. Like I said, how often you're doing it. Maybe take some of the approaches from my last video in terms of when I talked about, you know, when something comes in, something goes out. And then also look at your feelings around it. So when you look at your wardrobe and you're really, really struggling and you're like, I just can't let this go, I don't know why, the clutter's doing my head in, but I can't seem to get rid of it. Just start to think about, well, like, what it is that you're feeling, like what you feel so attached about. Like, I want you to just look at clothes objectively and not allow them to control you. Like, clothes serve a purpose. Like, we all need to wear them or be walking around naked, and they serve a purpose, and it's not about them controlling you and you constantly feeling the need to buy them and putting too much power into the clothes, too much memory, and I suppose, like, starting to consciously create some detachment from things and your clothes in that way. Secondly, when you do feel the need to buy something, or you do find something that you like, I use a little task with myself. Well, I used to on my journey to, like, buy more consciously, and I still do sometimes, where I'll see something I like or I want, and then I will leave it with me. So I will never just, like, buy it there and then unless I 100% know, like, this is what I need, I've been looking for this for years or something like that. It's, you know, and it's not just because it was on sale. It's not just because you like it. It's not just because it's a bargain. Like, really go home, think about it. If you still want it or need it the next day, then you can go online or you can go back. Clutter has massively been linked to depression and anxiety. I know that it was for me, for a lot of my clients it is, and it's very overwhelming. I always say, like, a cluttered mind, a cluttered wardrobe can often equal a cluttered mind. So giving that some awareness and thought as well, as in, like, there's something around you know, your ability to let go of clothes and having that attachment, and B, your need to buy and consistently add. And once we start looking at this and once you start exploring it and why, you will hopefully slowly start to see more of a purpose behind clothes and detach it, and even get some self-awareness into these times when you feel like this and when it is becoming stressful for you. and then also take you out of a cycle of guilt. I know when I used to buy in that way, I would feel guilt for buying it because I probably couldn't afford it, and then that cycle keeps you very stressed and anxious, and it's not a healthy approach. And like I said earlier, it's just clothes. Like, they don't need to give us this much stress, anxiety and power. They're supposed to make us feel good, look good, and just have enough of them that we can create outfits that we can look and feel good, and we can just get up in the morning and not really be that big of a deal. So I hope that has given you a little bit of a mindful insight into clothes. If you have any questions, obviously just pop them below on this video, and I'll see you next week with, I promise, some proper tasks, no deep, meaningful conversations. And I'll see you then for episode 14.